sole focus of this is vetted information. It's not just random crazy ideas, mad scientists. I've talked to CEOs, I've talked to CISOs, I've talked to CIOs, and everyone behind closed doors is like, do not name my name, but you are 100% right. Welcome to Life of a CISO. I'm Dr. Eric Cole, your host, and we'll be taking you on a journey each week on what it takes to be a CISO and what are solutions that you can implement today if you are currently a Chief Information Security Officer or if you want to be one in the future. This is Life of a CISO. Welcome, my friends. You know what time it is. Buckle up. Here we go. It is time for Life of a CISO with yours truly. Dr. E is in the house. So today we're going to do what we do best, what I do best. I think what you love about this podcast is really talk about the areas that no one wants to talk about. Bring up the topics that people don't want to bring up and talk about where we're going, what it takes to be a world-class CISO. So here we go. You ready? You ready? I'm going to hit you hard with this one, but it is the truth. This one I've been researching and studying and talking to a lot of people for a long time. And it's a message that nobody wants to say, but everybody knows in their heart it's true. And that's this. Companies don't need a chief AI officer. We don't need another chief. We don't need another title. We don't need somebody else trying to call the shots. AI right now, as it sits, when you look at impact to a company, from a revenue and profitability, both increase and decrease, whether we like it or not, AI is a cybersecurity function. It is something the CISO needs to take charge. They need to take control, and they need to call a spade a spade. Because here's the reality. Nobody wants to touch it except people that want to create a new title. And like I said, we don't need a silo. AI can't be this silo. That's the problem we had. And that's why, in reality, while I didn't like it, how cybersecurity started off under CIOs was the right initial path for some companies because it was too much to have it separate. Now, with the right personality, it could work for a very short period of time. And then, yes, we see how it played out. We weren't sure where cybersecurity was going, right? Whether it was going to just sort of mellow out. Like, for example, you don't have a chief cloud officer. Cloud was one of those, we didn't know where that was going. Cloud could have been like cybersecurity, or it could have been an embedded function. It turned out it's an embedded function. Keeping cloud under the CIO makes sense. That's pretty much the evolution of the CIO, is really mainly managing on-prem, off-prem infrastructure. So that was a smart move. We started off there and we see where it goes. AI is in its infancy. I know it came out fast, it came out quick, but the reality is we don't know what we're dealing with. We're dealing in its infancy. I mean, it's like a little kid just running all over the place, providing some value, some benefit, but lots of havoc, lots of energy drain, and it's just out of control. And look at it. Look at the AI models. What is the topic of AI right now? It's all about cybersecurity. Look at Anthropics, right? With Anthropics, they were coming out with their new Mythos model, and they pulled back because of the security concerns, the impact to the security community. An entire AI product, an entire rollout of an AI system was not publicly deployed because of the impact it would have on cybersecurity. Attackers are using AI. We need to use AI for security. we are outmanned, we are outgunned, we are out of control. We can't hire people. Here's the reality. The reality is every cybersecurity department that I know of needs 50 more people and $50 million more dollars. Now, smaller companies less, bigger companies more, but the reality is you get what I'm saying. I don't know a single other department that is in that desperate need of resources. There's too much going on. It's all over the place. AI right now is the tool that can save cybersecurity. Because guess what? It's the tool that has transformed cyber attacks and offense to a level we've never anticipated. Going back to an entire AI model. Remember, Anthropic's Claude, it's not an AI, it's not a cybersecurity product. It's supposedly an AI product. Yet, the entire focus, the entire conversation for the last month, and the entire delay of a rollout was all because of cybersecurity. That's where it fits best right now. Now, could there be some benefit in other business units? Yes. But it needs to be slowed way down. I mean, I think everyone's seeing it. I'm even talking to executives. They're like, yeah, Eric, this is nuts. It's not living up to its hype. It's not doing what we were promised. I tell you, everybody, and if you disagree, drop comments, send me details. I want to know. I want to hear your perspective if you disagree with me. But this is vetted. The value of the Dr. Eric Cole, so that's my other one. The value of the life of a CISO. I have two different podcasts, but both are focused on the same energy factor. But the sole focus of this is vetted information. It's not just random crazy ideas, mad scientists. I've talked to CEOs. I've talked to CISOs. I've talked to CIOs, and everyone behind closed doors is like, do not name my name, but you are 100% right. Because here's the reality, and here's the challenge if you disagree. I don't know anybody after listening to the hype and using it agrees that the hype is real. It doesn't do what people are saying. And I'm sitting there going, can we stop focusing on trying to just make money and actually be humans and tell the truth? Tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Like you're on the witness stand. Because the reality is you look at these folks going, oh, if you have the right prompts, if you ask the right questions, if you do the right things, guess what? That's the challenge of humanity. Because here's the reality. If you could always ask the right questions, communicate the right way, and articulate exactly what you wanted, there'd be no problems on planet Earth. I argue all the problems with humanity. Look at your relationships. Look at any relationships. Look at any issues. Look at right now. What is the reason why the war with Iran and the United States is still continuing? Because two countries can't communicate. Listen to all the news. That's what you're hearing. The President of the United States is saying that they're just not listening to us. They're not giving us what we need. I don't think we're going to end this war because Iran is just not listening or doing what we want. And then you listen to Iran going, we're giving you everything you want, and you're still not happy. Everything you're asking for, we're saying we will give you, and then you still just want to fight, and you just want to attack us. It's a communication issue. So if we honestly think that AI, a computer, is now all of a sudden going to turn every human into an amazing communicator, we're wrong. And here's my question. Wouldn't it be better for us to spend our time, energy, and effort sending people through communication training, sending people through training of how to ask better questions, how to interact better, not how to bring another problem that's automated, that makes mistakes, that's not accurate into our worlds to create more confusion and more chaos and more craziness. So I go back to my challenge for you this week. This is a different challenge than normal. But here's, if you want to be a CISO or your CISO challenge, I want you to go in and prove me right or prove me wrong. Can you valid all these claims that people are making about AI and prove that it is true? Whether it's proving that you can run a multi-million dollar company with one human and AI agents. I don't know anyone's doing it. No one's doing it. It's funny. The people that are telling you to do it, buy my course for $7.99, and I will tell you. Here's the crazy part. They're not doing it. My friends, do you want to take driver's license from somebody who doesn't have a driver's license? Right? It's crazy what's happening in the world today. Is you're having people selling things that they can't even do themselves. If they're saying, well, in theory, this should work, then why aren't you doing it first? You sit there and run a $5 million company with one person only, and AI agents, and successfully make $5 million. Then sell the course. That's how coaching used to be. It used to be people that were successful at it would then teach you how to do it. Now we sort of got this backwards model where I can't do it, but I'm going to pay me and I'll show you how you can do it. Crazy. Or these other claims where you can go in and do this or that. I use AI on a regular basis. Here's the reality. It ain't that good. In a lot of cases, to be honest with you, it's better, easier, and faster to talk to a human because they understand me, they know me. Training up the AI so it learns, and then you know how often some of these models, they don't even have memory. And it goes in and goes, well, I don't remember that. You have to reload it again. Are you kidding me? I'd rather just deal with a human. So if I go in and ask you about something we talked about 2 weeks ago, I have to do the work. You're telling me I have to go in, do the work, find it, everything, and reload and retrain you again over and over. That's insane. It's insane, and the accuracy isn't there. I've gone in and done actual queries where it's lied to me. This is actually true. I knew the correct answer. I knew that this month, because of some of the recent laws that were passed, that Meta in Instagram is stopping end-to-end encryption. Fact. It's happened. Right? Factual data. Well, 2 weeks ago, I went into ChatGPT and I said, listen, is it true? Is it true that, in IG, they're getting rid of end-to-end encryption and they can now read all the messages? And it actually wrote back, no, Eric, great call. I'm glad you're asking me. That's all hype. That's not correct. What they're talking about, and I kid you not, it made up this beautiful story. It said, Eric, there was this other feature that people were getting confused, and these people are overhyping it. The reality is that point-to-point encryption is still existent in IG and will still be there, and they can't read you, and gave it the whole story. And then I triple-checked with another AI tool and confirmed that I was correct. And I went back and I'm like, I don't think what you told me was accurate. Can you please actually research it? And can you please actually verify whether that's true? And they wrote back going, yeah, Eric, you're right. Good catch. Made a mistake. You're right. It is ending. I'm like, are you kidding me? What if I was truly inquiring and I acted on that information? I would have given out bad information. People would have believed it. People would have made bad. Imagine that is what's driving businesses. I'll tell you right now, if companies are actually replacing 20% of their workforce with AI today, they will be out of business. because you can't run a business on sloppy information that is thinking it's accurate. It has no remorse. Like if you talk to a human and I go, hey, is this really true? Eric, I'm not sure. You should research it. I think maybe that it's still there and maybe it's a hype thing, but I don't know. You should read. That's how a human would do it. But no, AI is confident as a you-know-what, and they lie, and they lie, and they lie. Now, does AI have some value with high-end users? Yes. But I don't, and I'm getting a lot of trash for this. I've been on different podcasts. Right now, except for very, very specialized areas, most people, most businesses, most individuals are not ready for agent-based AI. Agentic-based AI needs to be taken off and put in the freezer. Yes, down the road, maybe, but it's not there yet. The data sets are not good enough. The accuracy is not good enough. The information is not good enough. Once again, I've done this time and time again when I've asked very specific, high-value questions, it is not accurate and it's confident in giving me wrong information. And I'm the one, only me, that has to catch that. You can't run a business that way, especially agents making decisions. Imagine if I went in and did what all these people are saying and I let it create my social media content. It would have created inaccurate social media content. I would have lost credibility. If I let AI generate all my social media content the way these experts are saying to do it, I would be probably obsolete in 6 to 9 months because it would be all wrong. It would not be correct and it would not be accurate. So it's a tool. Is it a tool that you can use to help do some research and gather data that you verify and validate through multiple sources? Absolutely. Can it go in and replace human decision-making? Unless you're insane and crazy and don't care about anybody or the success of your business. So my friend, yes, I'm doing a sales pitch because we are on a bad path and people have bought it. People have bought the lies and it must end. And like I said, and that's why I'm speaking about it, because I believe it's the role of cybersecurity because it has the greatest chance of doing harm, but it also has the greatest chance of doing good. As I talked about, we are, for high-end companies, I know you're going to be like you're contradicting yourself. No, I'm not. For very high-end companies, experimental, they know it's experimental, we are deploying AI to do correlation of lateral movement within an organization, build a baseline of all connections between every server. So if you have 70 servers, which is not uncommon for an average size organization, then 70 to 70. That's a lot of connections. And some of them, there should be zero traffic. So we're going to build a model with AI where we're going to learn what the traffic flows are. From consumer to hits the company to the end system to outbound. So that entire lateral movement process, we're going to master. Because I truly believe the way to winning cybersecurity is to master lateral movement. If we can catch and detect lateral movement within an organization, we can detect attacks quicker, faster, and in many times before they get to the critical data. And therefore, every incident is a minor incident. That's my motto in cybersecurity. May all your incidents be minor. You're going to have incidents, right? Prevention is where it's at. I believe we've done as much as we could on the preventive front. Now, the area to win or lose is on detection, controlling damage, minimizing impact. Not long term. Long term, we then need to take that knowledge and build better preventive measures. But right now, if we're looking where we're at, because here's the reality. I don't trust AI enough to prevent attacks because it's going to block good stuff and it's going to disrupt the business. But the fact that we're not doing great at detection at all, I mean, just look at recently what happened with breaking into the big companies and to all the, I mean, these attackers are just breaking in, bypassing our preventive measures like they don't exist. So we need to get serious. So to me, am I willing to bet on something that's not perfect, but better than what we have, AI for detection? Absolutely. Am I willing to bet on it for critical business decisions? Heck no. Am I willing to bet on it for prevention? No. Am I willing to bet on it to do better? Because guess what? We are losing. So any increase, even if we detect a few ones that are a little off, that's still okay. Right? That's a risk we're willing to take. So if you look at across all areas of business, every possible area in a business, the area that's the best area to take a risk, being early adopters with agentic AI, is lateral movement and detection. Learning and tracking all that different behavior going in and out of the organization, and then going in and using that to detect attacks in a timely manner to control, minimize damage, and ultimately improve our preventive measures. That's where our sole focus should be. That's where companies should be putting their effort on agentic AI. There and only there. Everything else is too early, too soon, and it's too dangerous. Then, if you want to have select individuals that understand and know that AI is nothing more than correlation of large data sets, and those data sets are not accurate and will sometimes give you false information, so you need to verify and validate, and using prompt-based AI, that's okay. But we can't keep doing what we're doing now. Where basically, I'm in companies and I'm working with people, and I'm asking for something. And instead of answering my question, they're just dropping it into AI, generating a 20-page document. Half of it is wrong. Half of it isn't what I need. Yeah, my answer might be buried somewhere in there, but I don't need that. I don't have enough time. That's why I asked a human. If I wanted to ask AI, I would have asked AI. So this is the thing where when you're talking to another human, and instead of them answering you, they use AI to give you an answer, that's a slap in the face. Because if I wanted to ask AI, I would have. But I want human expertise here. That's why I asked a human. So our rule needs to be in companies quite simple. If a human is asking a human must reply. If a human then needs data to answer the question, and that data is going to come from a computer, then we can use AI. AI should be talking to AI, and humans should be talking to humans. And then humans use AI when they need to talk to computers. And then AI uses humans when they need to talk to other humans. The model is simple and it makes sense, but a lot of people are fighting me because so much time, money, energy, and effort has been invested into this. But I'll tell you right now, if you stand up in the boardroom and you do it correctly as the CISO or the future CISO and saying, listen, we got to talk about AI. It is not working. It is broken. How many more bodies do we need before we realize this is not working? There needs to be a voice of reason. There needs to be a voice of logic. So I'm going to leave you there because one of the things I find is sometimes with my podcast and my presentation, they're so concentrated that it's just too much. So I think I've given you plenty to digest, plenty to think about. I've given you a challenge. See if you can find any of the hype out there that is true on what AI can do, and then start thinking about how you can be the voice of AI in your company, how that looks, and how you can start using AI for lateral movement detection to improve our defenses. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to Life of a CISO with yours truly, Dr. E is in the house.